The news that's come out recently about the show is, it's above my pay grade, different people making decisions. I know that they're still working on it, is what I'm being told. Working things out with everyone to make sure we shoot. And I'm confident we will. We always have before. I think it's probably a bit of drama over nothing. One of my favorite parts about the show is the relationship between Jamie and Beth. We've gone through so much together and we work so well together, and we've got something coming. And, we're both threatening each other now in some serious ways, or at least Jamie and Beth are. And it's a mystery to me too, where it's going. I just know this is an inflection point. So something's gonna come out of this, something terrible, or whatever your perspective is, something major will come of this moment between Jamie and Beth. This is kind of the final straw. He didn't realize how much Beth was really fed up with him until really recently, and I think that has now flipped a switch in Jamie that he feels similarly. If I wasn't a part of the show myself and I was watching and I saw this crazy relationship between the two, it's a great question about where this heads, because it takes great writing to get us there, and I certainly am not a great writer, but for a while I had hoped there was some reconciliation. I think maybe they even teamed up in some way, but I think it feels right where it's heading now, where Taylor has taken them, which is just they were going to destroy each other from the beginning, whether they knew it or not. And I think that's pretty fantastic, and as a viewer I'm sure it's amazing to watch, because he's done a great job of really building up a lot of animosity.
I'm gonna kill you, but when I do it, I'm not gonna farm it out like you f***ing coward. I'm gonna do it myself.
What, you think that
I'm gonna kill you, Jamie. I'm gonna kill you for what you did to my family.
It's a good question whether Jamie still has loyalty to the family, because he's loyal to a fault, as we all know now. I mean, he's literally killed people for the family. It's hard for me to imagine that he has loyalty left. It doesn't appear that way. It certainly seems in the last scene of the last episode when he's asking for their death, it does feel like he's past it. I've been asked before, whether or not I feel like Jamie's a redeemable character, or whether he's coming from a legitimate place or has a real argument. One of my first rules is not to judge my characters. That's always a rule. But with Jamie, it's really hard because it's been 5 years of some pretty bad stuff. I have to separate myself from that. So I don't know. I mean, from that point of view, I hear his arguments. I see his perspective. It is, in my eyes, legitimate. Now, that doesn't excuse behavior, right? I mean, as they say, you can compare two people going through the same thing. One lashes out, one doesn't. What's okay? And I think Jamie's behavior is what makes it questionable. And I think that's what makes him such an interesting, complicated character. I feel for the audience, always feeling like they don't know where it's going, feeling on your toes, and we feel the same way. I take in the show through the script, so it's similar to how everyone views it. And I wait for that next script with the same kind of anticipation our fans do for the next episode to be aired, because he surprises us so much. And I'm so interested in everyone. I'm so invested in more than just Jamie. I'm invested in the whole thing now. So we all talk about it on set, all the possibilities. We do our own fan fiction. I do that with a lot of characters. I want to work with all of them. I'd love to work with all of them. I rarely work with Monica, I don't work with Rainwater anymore as much, but that's to speak to Jamie's isolation. I think he's getting more and more separated from them and turning toward other people now. Luke and I have an interesting relationship as Kayce and Jamie. It always feels like Jamie and Kayce are still tied together. Like there's still love between them. There's still a respect, oddly, and an understanding Kayce has for Jamie that I think the rest of the family doesn't have. It makes the scenes between us, which are few, I think more powerful and more emotional, because we're rarely together, we're rarely in that space. But you never know where Taylor's gonna go, and maybe it ends up being Kayce and Jamie, somewhere together. I had a great time shooting in the bunkhouse in season 2 and 3. It was so much fun to be with those guys, but I don't envy them either. I mean, they go through a lot physically that I don't have to do in those boardrooms with my nice suits. I do miss the horses, though. We have amazing horses on the show, and I'm a horse rider, and I love them, and I miss being able to ride on camera. I mean, I thought I was going to do a Western, so I thought I was going to be on the horses. Kelly and I have had to do a lot of stunt training together because of the fight scenes, and often the fight scenes are her dragging me around somewhere, but it's so nice to do them with her. First of all, she didn't know she had this in her. I don't think she had done much physical stunt work or whatever before, and she was very nervous about having to take swings at me. She was like swinging very far away at first in our rehearsals, but by the time we got shooting, she was really into it and really good at it, so we were fine after that. But it's fun to work with her. It's hard to do those scenes for both of us. She hates playing the jerk. I hate getting ripped around a hallway, but we commit to it and we commit together and we come out of it together laughing. Initially, the description of Jamie to me within the context of the show was that Jamie's relationship with Beth is a Greek tragedy out in big sky country, is the exact words Taylor said to me when I first talked to him on the phone, and that this was a tragic relationship full of pain, and that's rung true. That he stayed true to that from the get-go. I didn't even know to the extent we were going to go, but he made it clear, and I feel like it's been accurate. In fact, everything he said was the first season was very accurate, that it was going to be a big hit, that it was going to be quite a few seasons, and be the best work we've ever done, and it feels like, if not all of those are true, most of those are true. The news that's come out recently about the show is, it's above my pay grade, different people making decisions. I know that they're still working on it, is what I'm being told. Working things out with everyone to make sure we shoot. And I'm confident we will. We always have before. I think it's probably a bit of drama over nothing.